Welcome to my channel everyone. In this video we are going to talk about Render, TAO, Kaspa and ONDO. Things were exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. So basically, the movement which we got to the upside, it was unexpected for me, but we have also said $3.93. Once they break to the upside, once we retested it, we can go for higher prices and then I'm out of my short trades. That's why I took the loss, but I have reopened my short trades up here. And for that I have also done a community post yesterday because the weather was nice and I wanted to go out for a walk instead of staying home doing videos. I was outside enjoying a bit the life, because this is very important in my opinion as well. Besides to trade all day long, it's going to make someone crazy over the time, trust me on that. So basically, sometimes it's better to get off the charts, get out into the sun or on the street to enjoy your life. So what I have to right here, falling wedge, broke to the upside in the past, $4.20 was the target. I can take this one out of the chart, because with those tops we went near to the target, and in my opinion the push is done. In my opinion it's done. Like I said, it was pretty unexpected. Why that? Because we had here a head and shoulders formation, which also broke to the downside. We worked off the length of the smallest shoulder, but we didn't work off the length of the whole head. The whole head would be worked off at $3.64. We went to $3.67, so also pretty close to it. I can take this one out of the chart as well. So this trend line here too. What I can see right now is that the structure which we have is not looking bullish. It looks to me like a rising wedge. Once it breaks to the downside, which is the price mark of $3.84, then we should see a sell-off into $3.27. If this rising wedge is not enough for you, then we can also say this looks like a double top pattern. Target also $3.27 to $3.34. There is a support box which I think is going to get very interesting in my opinion. So for the short term, this is just the midterm. The short term is we have a fair value gap even up to $4.08. From there we should fill it. I'm going to increase my position size for render. What did I do? Yesterday I took short trades up here. I have also did a community post about that. Today I don't need any kind of community post because I have my video updates. So basically I de-risked down below here, because if we look into the RSI, you don't see it for render, but if we look for example into TAO, the RSI is far more less. If we look into Kaspa, oversold. If we look into ONDO, close to oversold. Bitcoin, oversold. Ethereum, oversold. XRP, oversold. So that's why just because render and maybe TAO don't have it, doesn't mean that they can't get a push, while the other cryptos are also getting a push. Being oversold is very dangerous in my opinion. There we should see a bounce. It doesn't mean that the bounce is going to be a new bullish cycle. It just means that those kinds of movements are going to take out the short trades, the high leverage short trades. And since we are trading here with leverage, every single percentage is a profit or a loss for us, multiplied with our leverage. So basically, why shouldn't I take profits down below here while we get up anyway, and then I can reinvest the money up here? So this is currently the plan. In my opinion, I personally think that the push is done. We had an impulsive push here where we got small pullbacks. Here we got the first sign of a sharp sell-off. Sharp sell-offs are always telling us that we are near to a top, and then we just went into an overlapping structure to the upside just to get another sharp sell-off, and the sell-off which we got right here is also not looking corrective, so we are not going to get a sell-off like this, slowly. It is also sharp in my opinion. So we have to see over the weekend, getting up a little bit more, and from there, sell-off. So what about TAO? So I have said 2 days ago that TAO is the most interesting coin because we had 4 chart patterns on the chart. We invalidated all of them. So pushes like this can happen. Did I still went into a TAO short trade up here? Yes. So basically, we had our rising wedge, which broke to the downside, got its retest. We got our bear flag, which broke to the downside. We were waiting for our second bear flag breaking to the downside when the rate cut came. When the rate cut got published, we also went into the lower part of the bear flag, but we got a bounce, broke it to the upside, so we invalidated this chart pattern. With this push which we got up here, we invalidated all of the other chart patterns, so I can take all of them out of the chart. I don't need them anymore. So this one here, head and shoulders formatation, also got invalidated. The targets were the area between $315 to $323 US. I can take this one out here as well. Now we have a far bigger bearish chart pattern with a far more important trend line in my opinion. Breakout is very close. So if we look into this kind of price movement, then we have one touch point here, second touch point here, one touch point to the upside, third, fourth, fifth touch point on the downside, 6 touch points on the downside. The whole movement, which we can see here, looks corrective. Rising wedge. Once the $346 breaks to the downside, target is going to be, I have to take this one. Let me just steal the price mark right here, put it to the downside, $285 US for TAO. So in the end of the day, what I have drew here, breakout of the old bear flag and then sell off. I think this is just going to happen on a different time, on a bit later. So what can I expect now? We see support right here. We still have fair value gaps up here. I actually doubt that we are going to fill it, but we should get up here. Here I want to get into some short positions, then the sell-off. So this is the plan in my opinion. I will also give you here the price mark. So the price mark is the $356 US. There we also see resistance, also from the past. So since here it's resistance, so I can actually take this one out. There I would be a bit careful. Once we get to $355 US to $356 US, I don't want to jump into any kind of long trades there because a huge sharp sell-off can happen. We have seen it before. TAO already lost within 24 hours. 7.3%. This is a bit better than other coins like Dogecoin, for example. Dogecoin lost 8.5%. So basically, there are far weaker coins right now than TAO, but still 7.2% within one day is still a lot. If we now look over Kaspa, then we can also say what we have drew right here can just happen to another time. So far we didn't invalidate this. Instead, we have actually said that Kaspa was one of the only coins which even had a bullish chart pattern. This inverted head and shoulders formatation. Wait for that, I have to take this one out of the chart so you can see it better. So this left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Target was here 8.9 cents. We went here into the target. I can take this one out of the chart. So basically, the sell-off which Kaspa has is sharp in my opinion, and it's not looking bullish at all, minus 7.5%. For Kaspa, I can still imagine we still have our resistance ongoing, which is the price mark of 8.6 cents, that we should get there over the time, and from here sell off. We also have now a chart pattern, which is this double top pattern. So I have put here a white trend line on the chart. The white trend line would be the breakout of the double top pattern, 8.16. I can still give you here the price mark, but this is not the price mark which I would like to trade once it breaks to the downside, because you can see on the left side we also got support there. So I would still wait for the 8.1 cents, so means this red trend line breaking to the downside. Afterwards, target is going to be the 7.3 cents, but I actually would ignore the 7.3% cent. I would go for the fair value gap between 6.8 cents to 7.1 cents. And yes, Kaspa can sell off very sharp. We are on the 1 hour time frame, and here we got a candle of 9% within 1 hour. And this is what I can imagine happening once we get near to the fair value gap. So be a bit careful with Kaspa. I still expect that over the weekend we should consolidate up to 8.6 cents. From there should sell off in my opinion. So what about ONDO? So for ONDO we have said that it already shows some weakness by trying to break the orange trend line to the downside. We still said we need to wait for the $1 breaking to the downside. Once it breaks to the downside, then we can actually look for a far more bearish target, 8.7 cents for example. So far, we got here a nice bounce. So we still have to wait for the $1 breaking to the downside to get into a short trade to get some momentum. So once the $1 breaks to the downside, the price movement should be fast. If I want to get a better entry, then I have to wait for the $1.04. Here's also the thing. I think that we are going to get into that point to retest the resistance, and from here sell off by having an inverted head and shoulders formatation. We also had an inverted head and shoulders formatation right here. It didn't break to the downside. Keep that in mind. Just because we have chart patterns, bearish or bullish, it doesn't mean that they have to be bearish or bullish. We have bearish chart patterns on the chart, might be bearish, but as long as we don't break it to the downside, we don't have any confirmation. The pattern is not getting activated if we don't break it to the downside, so basically the pattern is worth nothing. It's just as long as we don't break it to the downside, we have an orientation and we have a setup to get into an entry, but it has to break to the downside. Otherwise, it's worthless. So my speculation for now is that what I have to do right here can happen on the right side, just with a smaller head. So basically, let me take this one out of the chart and let's redraw it. So this right here. And once we get to $1.04, I want to get into a short position for ONDO or increase my position size. Like I said, yesterday's community post, we took short trades in the top area. Now I took some profits. Most of my short trades are not directly closed, but I took out 75% of the trade of my position size. So basically, I'm almost with no money into the trades anymore, like not significant. If we get to $1.04, I'm going to reinvest everything which I took down below here. I will reinvest it up here again, and then see where the price is going to go. Because if we then break to the upside, then I'm going to get out of the short trade. Then I just had a nice try. But if we are going to get rejected, what I actually think, what we have also saw in the past, and then sell off and then break the $1 to the downside, then I think actually that we can catch a nice move. And also if we go into the 4-hour chart, this is not looking bullish at all. Not now. I still think the altcoin season is going to come for ONDO, but it will take time. This looks to me like a triple top pattern. Once it breaks to the downside, price mark 84 cents. The 84 cents, it seems to be far away, but once, this can also be still in head and shoulders formatation. This right here can develop as an head and shoulders formatation. The targets are very near to 84 cents. Once the 84 cents breaks to the downside, target 55.8 cents. I will just give you here the price mark. Did I say that ONDO is going to sell off there? No. We didn't break any kind of chart patterns to the downside yet. But once the $1 breaks to the downside, then a warning signal should get up for us that a bigger movement to the downside is going to happen. And once the 84 cents, once we lose this price mark, then I actually have to rethink that 55 to 56 cents is not even that unrealistic. Also, we can add here 66.8 cents to 71.7 cents. There is a huge fair value gap. Afterwards, altcoin season for ONDO. This is my personal speculation, and I want ONDO to sell off into that area because then I can get into very low entries for the altcoin season. Then the altcoin season is also going to get easier to trade, in my opinion, because within the altcoin season, some coins are pumping up 70%, 200%. On the next days, 40%, 50%, 60% correction. Afterwards, 300% to the upside again. So how do we want to trade it? It is very difficult, and if we get into trades down below here, and if the price is going to move like this, we are huge in profits, 4x. If we then get a 50% correction or 30% correction, then it's not going to hurt us that much. Then we can use those dips to get into the trades, to increase our position size. For sure, our average price is not going to be down below here, it will get up here, but we can always save our trade with a stop loss over our average point. And then ONDO can get far higher prices. This is the altcoin season. You can just look into the altcoin season from 2021. Let's see if ONDO was there. For that, let's get into the daily chart. No, ONDO didn't make it there. It's a new coin. So we can go into Dogecoin, for example. I love Dogecoin. So, altcoin season 2021. Doesn't look much. It is much. I can just tell you that. So from down below here, we made a huge pump, 1050%. How much did we sold off from the top to the bottom? Within one day, we lost 75%. Just to make in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days, next 10 days, 260%. Afterwards, maybe also 14 days, so 2 weeks, minus 50%. Look where the price afterwards went. From down below here to here, 730%. Just to make a few days later, minus 62%. So you can already see that the altcoin season is going to get very volatile. And I know that you are waiting for the altcoin season. But are you ready for those kind of movements? Sometimes 200% to the upside. Do you even know that the altcoin season ended here, or do you still think that it's going to continue? Then you see Is 60% dip, are you going to get out of the trade because you think the bear market happens, or are you going to hold? Those are questions which you have to answer yourself if you are going to get through this emotionally, because this is so volatile. It's going to be so volatile. And I can also tell you that in that kind of market stages, it's afterwards not about chart patterns anymore. It's not about who has the best EMA, SMA or whatever, or MACD, or how it's all called, those indicators. The RSI can be overbought and oversold over a couple of days. No setup is going to work. We can still try it if we find it, but it's not going to be possible every time. The altcoin season, like, what do you want to see in this kind of price push? You can't, like with my setup, with my chart pattern, like there is no chart pattern which you can see. Those are just 1, 2, 3, 4 big green candles. It is just not possible. But we will still give our best, and I would still say that once we get into entries very low, then we are far more flexible, and then we can actually look and can find some chart patterns which are directing us into those all-time highs, like we have seen, for example, for Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the daily time frame. You can see it right here. This, for example, was a huge cup and handle formatation. Target 125,000 US dollar. I can just do it again. I know that this is the target. But if I just do it like this, put it here to the breakout point, get you here the price mark. Yeah, okay, it's not perfect, but you can see, where did Bitcoin go? Somewhere in that area. And if you want to trade the altcoin season with me together, then subscribe the channel. Once the altcoin season for most of the coins are going to start, like it is starting right now, we can see it, but it didn't begin for most of the coins yet. But if you want to trade the altcoin season with me, if we want to try to find some chart patterns like this cup and handle for Bitcoin, for example, with a price target of 125,000 US dollar, and where did Bitcoin go? 125,000 US dollar. So with chart patterns, we can still measure something. Still, Bitcoin can overshoot, for example, to 130,000, 140,000. Everything is possible still. But with chart patterns, we have a better orientation, and we need to look into the bigger time frame, because the smaller time frame is not going to help us within the altcoin season. I can tell you that most people are going to lose their money within the altcoin season. Trust me on that. Most people can't live with their whole life savings into cryptos. I know many people will put their life savings into crypto and see it in the next day at minus 50%. So with that said, we see each other tomorrow, hopefully with more chart patterns. If tomorrow, since it's Saturday, if the market is not moving that much, then I can also keep you updated with a community post.